So I was scrolling online the other day, as you do, and I saw this super cute reel. It was a girl in her car talking about how we need to add more whimsy into our life.
As an expert on all things whimsical, your whimsy tip of the day is you need to be theming the small things, and I have 3 examples for you. Number one, instead of just going to dinner with your girls on a Friday night and saying, like, what are we wearing? Pick a theme. We're all wearing pink. Instead of just going to sushi, we're saying you're going to buy a burger from 5 different places and rank them from best to worst. Bring a little paper and pencil and make a draft. Rank the french fries too. Just put a little glitch in your matrix.
And then the next reel I see is a girl styling a little tray in her kitchen with a vase and a candle, and bam, that started this spiral into thinking about how we can add whimsy to our everyday homemaking. I mean, let's be real. The laundry, the dishes, the constant tidying, it can feel like a never-ending loop sometimes, right? But what if we could sprinkle just a little bit of whimsy, a little bit of joy into those everyday tasks? Well, today, in part 2 of my whimsy series, if you haven't checked out part 1, go check it out. We're going to talk about just that. We're going to explore some simple, fun, and maybe even a little silly at times ways to make your everyday homemaking moments feel less like a chore and more like an act of creating joy in your home and creating whimsical memories for your family. So first up, let's go back to that tray idea. So instead of just for decoration, what about creating a homemaking launch station? Seriously, stick with me here. So picture a cute tray on your counter. You can thrift it, get one from Home Goods, and on it you have a beautiful new candle you pick out that you only light when you start your cleaning routine. You've got your favorite apron ready to go, and maybe a little hook or stand for your headphones, a charging spot for your phone, and it turns the act of cleaning into this little ritual, you know? And if you follow my printable routines, you can have your clipboard or your binder with those there as well. And this will just create a signal to your brain that says, okay, it's time to make some homemaking magic happen. And maybe it'll be less of a, "Ugh, I have to clean," and put us more into a, this is my time, like me time kind of vibe. Speaking of making your home, let's talk about making your home a little weird. I mean that in the best way possible. Your home should be a total reflection of you, quirks and all. Who says you can't hang a disco ball in your dining room or put it in your kitchen window? Just let your personality shine. Fill your space with things that make you happy, even if they don't fit some perfect aesthetic you saw online, especially because the aesthetics we see online are just going to be outdated by the time any of us can actually afford to do them. I'm just saying, it's your home. Let it be as unique as you are. So our next idea for adding whimsy to our everyday moments is to leave little notes around the house for your family. Do you remember, and maybe for those watching, this is like before your time, but folding those super like cute, intricate secret notes in middle school? Well, let's bring that back. You can fold up little notes and tuck it into your partner's wallet or your kid's lunchbox or under pillows. I mean, I don't know, even in the bathroom. It's such a small thing, but it can completely brighten someone's day. Plus, it's a fun excuse to practice those little folding skills. Okay, so this other one is an idea for dishes. I don't know about you, but I hate dishes. And I saw someone say that when they do the dishes, they tell them it's bubble bath time. And I just thought that was the cutest thing. It completely reframes the task because it's not drudgery. You're just giving your dishes a bubble bath. Another little thing I love for the kitchen, and I've mentioned this before, is adding a pretty ring hook by the sink. It's a dedicated spot to put your rings before you start washing up. And I got a comment on my video that mentioned this, saying that back in the day, they actually had, in the 50s especially, little ceramic animals. Sometimes there's a cat with its tail in the air, just different shapes that were specifically for holding your ring that they would keep by the sink. And I think it'd be so fun to track those down and have one in my own house. Another way to add some extra whimsy is when you're done with your evening tidy up, you know that great feeling of putting out a fresh kitchen towel? Well, we're going to level that up. I saw this adorable hack where someone tied their dish towel basically into a bow on the oven handle. And it's such a cute small detail, but how can you not like smile just a little when you see that? And bows are back in lately, which makes me so happy because I love bows. And on this note, it ties right into our next hack because you can even get really creative and fold your bath towels into little animal shapes, you know, just like they do on cruise ships. There's tons of tutorials online. But just imagine like if you were a kid and you walk into your room at night and you see a little towel elephant on your bed. I mean, it would just be so fun. My next idea was like, what about those not so fun sick days when one of the kids can be just not fun? And so, if the weather's nice, you could try creating a little healing nest outside. You could set up a blow up mattress or a bunch of blankets in a shady spot, bring out some books and pillows, because resting in the fresh air just feels so much better and it can turn a sick day into a very low key little adventure. This next one's so random, but you can wrap your toilet paper. No, I'm serious. So, you know those pretty paper napkins you have left over from a birthday party? Use them to wrap the spare toilet paper rolls in your bathroom. It can be changed out seasonally, as oftentimes we end up with seasonal napkins, and it adds this unexpected pop of color and pattern, and it's a quirky, cute way to use something you already have. And it's just one of those things that just makes you go, oh, like, that's fun, you know? Something else is you can just paint stuff. If you have some leftover paint, then you can just paint something unexpected. The edge of a door, a boring light switch cover, the inside of your medicine cabinet. It's a quick project that adds a little pop of joy where you're least expensive, and you don't have to be super artsy with this. Like, if you don't have any painting skills, I know I don't, you can still use stencils to help you out. Which comes right into, we can think about, like, reframe what we think of as art. Art doesn't have to be some expensive print. We can frame a movie ticket from a special date night, a favorite recipe card from your grandma, the first seashell your child found on vacation. Those are the things that tell your family's story, and that's the best kind of art that there is. And my last little idea for today is to give your home a Main Street vibe. Here's what I mean by this. This is especially fun if you have kids, but you can find vintage style metal signs online that say like kitchen or laundry. But for your kids' rooms, you can even take it a step further and put little apartment numbers on their door. You can install little battery operated doorbells. You can even hang little mailboxes on their doors where you can leave them those secret notes we talked about. And it gives them such a sense of ownership and makes their space feel extra special. And pro tip, you can hang a mailbox on your door as well for them to turn in all of those school papers that they forget about. Then they will be looking through and hoping that there's papers in their backpacks to be able to turn into you guys. So we've talked about all these little ways to add magic to your home, but what about the biggest task of all? Well, that's the cleaning itself. How do we make the actual cleaning routine more whimsical? Well, this is where I'm coming in with a game changer. As a girly with raging ADHD, I've always wanted to find a way to make my cleaning time feel less like a chore and just more like something fun so I can just do it on autopilot. So I created something called Domestic Daydreams Radio. It's a subscription where you get audio guided, like podcast style cleaning routines. But here's the fun part. They're set to 1950s old time radio shows like Dragnet, Fibber McGee and Molly, Father Knows Best, Suspense. So instead of just listening to music or something like that while you clean, you press play and you're transported back in time while I guide you through, for example, the morning routine. It guides you through dishes, laundry, clutter, a weekly task, airing the beds, and all while you listen to a new episode every day of the radio show Dragnet or Father Knows Best. And then I have evening routines and kids routines as well. And it all just takes the guesswork and decision fatigue out of cleaning and helps you stay on task. I tell you exactly what to clean and for how long so you can just move through your home on autopilot while getting lost in a great story. It truly makes cleaning feel like me time, and it's the ultimate way to bring fun, whimsical feeling into the very rhythm of our homemaking. So I've got free episodes for you so that you can reclaim your home from the mess the whimsical way, so be sure to check that link in the show notes. Now, adding these little touches of joy won't magically make the messy parts of home disappear, but I promise they can change how you feel about managing it all, and they can change how you and your family remembers the years at home. Because homemaking is an act of love for yourself and for your family, and it absolutely deserves to feel fun and fulfilling and whimsical. I'll talk to you next time.